Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's honestly a real game changer. How structured re-entry programs actually drive real, tangible career growth for justice-involved individuals. We hear the phrase second chances thrown around all the time, right? But today, we're cutting through the buzzwords to look at the actual operational nuts and bolts of how those chances are built.
Okay, let's get right into it. Because, look, it's one thing to just hand someone a job. But fostering genuine career growth, that's an entirely different ballgame. Real growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires a framework, a clear pathway, and really intentional support. To go from a mere chance to lasting change, you've got to stack the right building blocks in the exact right order.
We're taking a zoom-in approach today. First, we'll cover what CCEP actually is. Then we'll look at the incentives for partnering employers. After that, we'll dive into a case study with Restoring Hope, examine their 4 career pathways, break down the training and transferable skills, and finally, map out the road to retention.
All right, Section 1. What is CECP? Let's start at the macro level and see what's really driving this workforce reintegration. So here's the absolute crucial point you need to understand. The Community Corrections Employment Program, or CCEP, is a Wisconsin Department of Corrections statewide initiative. But it's not just a job placement service. It connects justice-involved individuals with highly tailored services and skills to get them successfully reintegrated into the competitive workforce. They aren't just giving out busy work. They're assessing folks, figuring out exactly what they're good at, and providing the tools they actually need to thrive.
And this really hits on the dual value of CCEP. We're talking personalized assessments, precise job matching, and a heavy focus on education and vocational advancement. It's like a two-way street, right? It helps individuals build sustainable careers while simultaneously delivering dedicated, motivated talent straight to partnering employers and community organizations. That is how you create true career growth, by perfectly aligning what an individual needs with exactly what local businesses are looking for.
Moving on to Section 2, Incentives for Partnering Employers. Let's talk about de-risking, because for sure, businesses need a solid financial reason to jump in.
Now, check out this number, 50%. Under an on-the-job training contract, CCP actually reimburses half of a participant's wages for the first 120 days. Literally half. An employer commits to providing a permanent role at a competitive wage, and the program covers 50% of that initial wage burden. It's a massive incentive that totally slices the financial risk of a new hire's learning curve right down the middle.
But the financial backing doesn't stop there. Partnering employers also get federal fidelity bonding. That's a no-cost insurance policy providing $5,000 against employee dishonesty for 6 months, with zero paperwork for the employer. On top of that, you've got the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or WOTC, which can offer up to $2,400 in federal income tax credits. Now, just a quick caveat, that specific tax credit does require federal reauthorization for 2026, but still, the structural financial support here is absolutely incredible.
Let's zoom in a bit for Section 3, Case Study, Restoring Hope. We're going to look closely at a very specific September 2026 rollout plan in Green Bay.
Restoring Hope Ministries, or RHM, is partnering up with the Division of Community Corrections Region 4 to create a fully structured employment and training site. And what's really fascinating here is that RHM isn't just making up random tasks. They run a counseling ministry, an educational institution, and a community outreach platform, so they have real operational needs that they can convert directly into legitimate supervised jobs. I absolutely love this guiding philosophy from RHM. Dignity before stigma, competence before access. They use this incredibly powerful dignity-centered vocabulary. It means participants are treated as employees learning a new role, not just criminal records tied to a time card. Leading with respect is step 1. But competence before access means they also take security seriously. Sensitive duties have to be earned through screening, training, and proven reliability. It perfectly balances deep compassion with strict accountability.
And the way this builds chronologically is super clever. Just look at these steps. First, there's a 120-day RHM host training phase where folks learn the ropes. Then there's a strict progression review. If they pass that, boom, they move to Step 3, a 120-day CCEP on-the-job training contract as a permanent hire at a competitive wage. Ultimately, it leads to Step 4, which is continued permanent employment at 29 hours a week. It's an actual mapped-out journey for real career growth. Which brings us to Section 4, the 4 career pathways. Let's look at exactly what these transferable skills are.
Rather than just handing out repetitive, busy work tasks,
RHN's 4-person pilot cohort slots individuals into these distinct tracks. You've got the counseling admin clerk track, focused on customer service and scheduling, the outreach and social media assistant track, doing digital marketing and analytics, a facilities track covering operations and safety, and an IT support track tackling tech and cybersecurity. These are highly transferable market skills. They aren't just helping out a nonprofit, they're building rock-solid resumes for the broader labor market.
All right, Section 5, Training and Transferable Skills. Let's talk about how they build this competency before giving anyone access to sensitive operations.
Led by program sponsor Dr. Jeffrey Gross, every single trainee goes through a rigorous 40-hour Common Core orientation. The sheer breadth of this is amazing. We're talking digital literacy, cybersecurity, HIPAA privacy rules, and minimum necessary access. They even cover trauma-informed, dignity-centered service and crucial de-escalation tactics, including strict stop-and-consult rules so they know exactly when to bump an issue up to a supervisor. This heavy-duty training is what bridges that gap between raw potential and actual real-world workplace competence.
And here is where it gets even more unique. Participants actually get an incredible educational benefit. A 90% tuition discount to take courses at the accredited Restoring Hope School of Biblical Counseling. They can earn 24 theological college credits and a Ministry Operations Generalist certificate. So they are literally layering academic growth right on top of their job training. It is the whole shebang, a truly holistic approach to career growth. Finally, Section 6, the road to retention. Because getting a job is great, but keeping it, that's the real test.
To make sure this works, RHM uses a highly structured supervision rhythm. They know that a supportive but heavily accountable environment is absolutely crucial to mitigate risks. They don't just hire folks and hope for the best, right? They do individualized legal and schedule screenings, set strict privacy boundaries, and implement role-based tech access. And the supervision cadence? It's intense. Daily check-ins for the first 10 days, bi-weekly skills labs, and formal performance reviews at 30, 60, 90, and 120 days. Supervisors actually have protected time to coach and manage. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway from the RHM proposal. This quote perfectly sums up why you have to balance employer accountability with human dignity. Compassion without structure will not sustain the program. Structure without dignity will not restore hope. Wow. You absolutely need both. You need the strict training and the performance reviews, for sure. But you also need that trauma-informed care and the genuine belief that the person standing in front of you is fully capable of true professional growth.
So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Now that you've seen the macro framework of the CECP system and the meticulous ground-level execution of the Restoring Hope model, how could your community or business implement a similar structured pathway for career growth and second chances? It takes work, structure, and a whole lot of dignity. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring how we can all foster genuine career growth in our communities.